Good morning, SMF MMT traders. What we're going to be doing here is in your market maker platform is you're going to be looking at these gap sequences. You got FTNT up 7.6, price line up 3.21. AVNR, we've been researching that one. That's up and was up 320, now up about 281. Google's got a 1.79 ratio gap. The TQQQ bull that we like to short when it pulls down intraday has got a 1.27 ratio gap. The Baidu's got 1.11 ratio gap. You've got a GOLD. So these are your ratio gaps. FTNT's got to be news related. Price line's been gapping up. And basically what we're looking at on that price line trade is where it tops out, and it trades a little bit different, but we're going to look and give it some time throughout the day and see how they try to manipulate that. It's also a good intraday trader, but these gap ratios are going to come back once they get all in on the opening bell and the electronic transactions that take place. That means that there's a lot of blasted electronic orders out on ECNs, and there are market maker transactions. There's lots of different transactions being fired off on that opening bell. And eventually, after the 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 is where you start seeing where that price action is going to be made in your MMT platform, or what the ratio of that trend intraday, the immune system of that price action is. So once again, it's such a wonderful way to start out the day. Now, this is on the Nasdaq 100 over-the-counter stock. So let's go to gap open down list. Well, here we have some. I don't see a lot of them, but there are some. So basically, what do we have here? Not much of anything. ANAD down $1.14. Amazon minus 1.23 ratio gap. We're going to be looking at where that ratio gap hits on that bottom MMTs, and we're going to trade that thing right off that bottom. Plus, we're going to be looking at that. Do they still premium out of the 160 call? If they still premium out of the 160 call, we come down there and make that low in that brain. That price action holds. They start to penny up that move off to the right side of the market. Bam! That's when we buy that MMTs. BIOD down $1.88. That's a negative 1.88 ratio, which we don't know anything about these other ones, but we do know that Amazon is the one that we're going to trade off of a negative ratio. MMTs. That's the pre-market action. Another thing about pre-market is that you have to remember one thing: how that opening bell really works and what it's about. So in your platform, it tells you to do one thing on these positive ratios and just vice versa on the negative. And so watch that TQQQ. Okay? And the SQQQ is the bear. Okay? These are the names that we're gonna see. We can see what GO says. That's gap open, 7.2432, 284, 202. That's the ratio there, MMTs. And then once that price action fails at half of that SMF Pro price action trader bar, that's when the money and the glory comes into play. That means the execution has to be made at that point, because that's when the price action would be changing. And that's the part that you want to make sure that you're transacting. So Nasdaq, gap open down, gap open up.